I'm going to begin by recording the session. In today's session, we are going to cover topics called match, index, combination of match plus index, and we will also be working with the sum if, count if, and average if functions, along with a two-way VLOOKUP. So this is the itinerary for today, or this is our flow chart for today. And with that, let us get started. The first thing I'm going to ask you is, why do you think we use the match and index function? Can anyone tell me why do you think we use the match and index function? Anyone? Why do we use the match and index function? Can anyone tell me in the chat box, why do we use the match and index function? No? Okay. Let me ask you a little different question. Which column does VLOOKUP look up? Which column does the VLOOKUP function look up? Which column does the VLOOKUP function look up? Which column does the VLOOKUP function look up? Which column does VLOOKUP function look up? VLOOKUP looks up which column? Ali, Ashwini, Pranita, who can answer? Which column does VLOOKUP look up? Pratik, Archana, which column does VLOOKUP look up? Quickly. Okay. VLOOKUP looks up the leftmost column. Or we can also say first column. VLOOKUP looks up the leftmost column, or as we can say, the first column. But if your data is in such a way that it is not in the first column, can we use VLOOKUP? If your data is in a manner where it is not in the leftmost column. So for example, your data is in this column. Okay. In this case, when your data is not in the leftmost column, we cannot use VLOOKUP. In this scenario, we go for a combination of match plus index, where match gives you the position and index gives you the value in the cell. So what does combination of match and index do? Match gives you position, index will give you value in the cell. So match and index combination is used instead of a VLOOKUP. So what does VLOOKUP do? VLOOKUP, also called vertical lookup, looks up the leftmost column. I repeat, VLOOKUP or vertical lookup looks up the leftmost column. But if your data is in a manner in which it doesn't look up the leftmost column, in that case, we go ahead with a combination of match and index, where match gives you the position of an object within a database and index gives you the value in the set. In this data over here, we have column A and we have column B. In column A, I have names, and in column B, I have phone numbers. You can also consider column A and B as a directory. And column E is a rough paper. I repeat, column E is a rough paper with certain phone numbers on it. Now, when you go and select a particular number, there are two possibilities. Either the number is present in the database or the directory, or the number is not present. If the number is present in the database, you can get the position using match. But if the number is not present, then you can get an NA error which shows that this database has insufficient data in it. It shows that this database has insufficient data in it. So begin with an equal to sign and write the match function. Begin with an equal to sign, write the match function, open the bracket. Lookup value. Lookup value always stands for what are you searching for. I repeat, lookup value always stands for what are you searching for. So this is the phone number that I am searching for. I repeat, this is the phone number that I am searching for, comma, lookup array stands for where am I searching? So I am searching for this number. Where am I searching? In column B. In order to refer to column B, I can also give a reference like this, B is to B. When I give a reference like this of B is to B, I do not need to use $sign to lock it. When you give column B is to B as a reference, I do not need to lock it by using the $sign. Comma, and the last question is type of match. There are three types of match. There are three types of match. Less than will be 1. Exact match will be 0. Greater than will be -1. There are three types of matches. Since I am looking for exact values, I will go ahead with 0 for an exact match, close bracket and hit enter. And here I get that this particular number is on 17th position. Let us try one more time. And once we are comfortable punching in the formulae a couple of times, we will go to the corner and drag the formulae down. Begin with an equal to sign, match function, open bracket, lookup value stands for this, comma, lookup array stands for what are you searching for? I'm searching for this. B is to be reference enables me in order to manage without the $sign. B is to be, make sure that I manage without $sign. Comma, because I want exact match, I will do 0, close bracket, hit enter, and this is the answer. Come to the corner and double click. And wherever the number is not present, you will see an NA error. This shows that the number is not found within the database. This shows that the number is not found within the database. I'm copy pasting this formula in chat box. Please try it out, everyone, before we go ahead. Please try it out before we go ahead. Perfect. Let us go ahead. Let us go ahead. Now, in order to take care of this error, what can I do? I can envelope the match function in the if error function. I repeat, in order to take care of this error, I can envelope this in the if error function. So I write if error, and if you're getting a value through the match function, it will display the value. But if you're getting an error, we can do open quotes, hyphen close quotes, which will give me a hyphen instead of the NA error. So wherever the answer is coming, it will give the answer. But instead of error values, I can customize it with if error and show a hyphen. Please try. Please try everyone before we go ahead with index. So match basically helps you just to get the position of a number within a range of cells. So what does match do? It helps you to get the position of a number from a range of cells. Okay, great. Let us proceed. Let us go to index function. Now, if you know the row number and the column name, or as I can say, if you know the column name and the row number, can you tell me what is the value there? Suppose I tell you L9. Can you fetch the value and tell me? If I tell you L9, can you tell me the value? Yes, 351F35. If I tell you L4, you can say 124B35. So if you know the address of the cell, if you know the address of the cell, the value of the cell can be obtained using the index function. I repeat, if you know the value of the column name and the row number, the value can be fetched using index function. So in short, if you know the address, you exactly know the value of the cell. So address is column name and row number. At the intersection of the column and the row, the cell that is there, the value can be fetched using the index function. In order to make this a little more dynamic, I suggest for size, we will create a drop down, and then for zone also we will create a drop down. For size, we will create a drop down, and for zone also we will create a drop down. Can anyone quickly tell me in the chat box which function will you all use for the drop down? Perfect. We will use data validation in order to create a drop down, or as we may call it as a list. Go to size, next to size you'll see an empty cell. Go to data, and under data you have, under data tools, you have data validation. Data validation, as the name suggests, allows you to create a drop down or a list. I repeat, data validation allows you to create a drop down or a list. Click on data validation. Under validation criteria, allow, say list. And in source of the list, take size. Say OK. And here I have a drop down for sizes. Let us repeat for zone. Let us create a drop down for the zones as well. Select the cell. Under data tools, there is data validation. Click on it. Under source, say list. Under allow, say list. Under source, choose the source. Click here. Say OK. And here you have your list. Now for price, what I am going to do, I repeat, now for price, what I am going to do is, I am going to create a drop down for, I am going to create an index function for the price because I know the address of the cell. This is giving me the row number. That's right. This is giving me the row number. This is giving me the column name, and at the intersection of 3 and 4, I can get the value. So size is 3, zone is 4, and this is the value over here. Let us try. Is equal to index is the name of the function. Open the bracket. Array stands for your data or your database. So where am I searching? I'm searching in this yellow area. Comma. Which is my row number? This is my row number. Comma. What is my column name or column number? 4. Close bracket, hit enter, and this is the same answer which you are getting over here. If I come to the drop down and I change the values, you will see automatically the index will fetch the changed values or the modified values from this table of array. So if you have the address of the cell, index gives you the value in the cell. So what does index do? Index gives you the value in the cell provided you have the address of the cell. Let me show you one more time before you all can try it. Is equal to index, open bracket. Array stands for data, database. So this is the data or the database, comma. Row number, which is the row number? This is the row number, comma. Which is the zone? Zone is the column number. Close bracket, enter, and this is the answer. So 5 and 2 is 21.9. Can you see the difference? So every time you go to the drop down, change the size or change the zone or change both, your price will auto update itself by looking up this particular table. So I'm going to copy paste this formula here. Please try it. This is an alternative to the VLOOKUP. This is an alternative to VLOOKUP. So when you cannot use VLOOKUP, you can use a combination of match and index function. When you cannot use VLOOKUP, you can use a combination of match and index function. So I'll repeat data validation. So for data validation, I'm going to take a blank cell or an empty cell where I'm going to create my drop down or my list. Then I'll go to data, and under data tools, under this nested is data validation. Data validation allows me to create a drop down or a list. So under validation criteria, under allow, I'll say list. And in source of the list, I'll use these items. Click again here, say OK, and this is your list. Please try, everyone. Once you all have completed this, I want you all to do the index function for the shipping cost. I'm highlighting it. Please complete the index function for the shipping cost, everyone. I'll give you all 1 more minute to try it for the index function for the shipping cost. Otherwise, I will show you all how to do it. You all can do it along with me and we can proceed. Let us write the formula for shipping cost using index function is equal to index open bracket. Now here again we are referring to the array. But the catch here is when I write this formula down, I plan to drag this formula down. When you write a formula and you refer to a range of cells, I repeat, when you write a formula and you refer to a range of cells, and there is a possibility that the range reference will start moving down because you're going to pull your formula down, it is a good practice to lock the range of cells. I repeat, it is a good practice to lock the range of cells. Because if you do not lock your range of cells, as your row entries will move down for size and shipping zone, even your table of array will start moving down by one row. Let me show it to you without the dollar sign so that you get an idea of the importance of locking the range of cells. So this is the range, comma, row, the size is in row number 5, comma. Now you need column. Column is the shipping zone. It is in column N. Select it, close bracket, enter. Here, in the first instance, you will get the answer correct. But when you come to the corner, double click and drag this formula down. Can you see what is happening? See this, double click here and see where it is referring to. Can you see the reference is moving downwards? Why is this happening? This is happening because here, when I was referring to the array, I did not lock the range of cells. I repeat, here, when I was referring to the array, or to the range of cells, I did not lock the cells. Okay. So what do I need to do? I need to lock the cells with the dollar sign so that the reference does not change. Control Shift and down to select all and delete. And now one more time, I'm writing in the index format. Begin with the equal to sign, write index, open bracket. Array stands for your data or your database. So select the data or the database. Use the dollar sign to lock it, comma. Now for row number, give reference of row number, comma. For column number, give reference of column number. Close the bracket, hit enter. And at the corner, when you double click, you will see this. Now you did not get an error. You can go and click. Any cell you click, always the range that it is referring to is always the yellow range of cells. We'll wait for 2 more minutes for all the participants to complete. Let me copy paste this in chat box for anyone who wants to refer to the formulae. So basically, if you have the address of the cell, the value of the cell is given with index function. Let's go to this sheet here. Let's go to this sheet here, which is match and index together. Now here, in this data, we have the months of the year and we have the products. So there are disk drives, there are CD drives, there are flash drives, and there are DVD drives. At the intersection of the month and the product, I get the quantity. I repeat, at the intersection of the month and the product, I get the quantity. In order to use index function, we will first need to use match. Then we will need to use index. Now, in order to make this dynamic, I suggest that for the months of the year and for the product names, we can create a drop down. In order to make it dynamic, create a drop down. Creating a drop down or a list will enable you to change items from the list. And as you change items for the list, you will see updated values. I repeat, as you change items from the list, you will see updated values. Go to data. Under data, there is data tools. Under data tools, there is data validation, which will enable you to create a drop down or a list. Under allow, let us say allow list, and in source of the list, let me choose these items. Here I have my drop down. All I have to do is go to the corner and start selecting. This is my drop down on my list. Here I can create a drop down for the products. I repeat, here I can create a drop down for the products. So take an empty cell, go to data, go to data tools. Under data tools, there is data validation. Click on data validation, allow list, and in source of the list, I will take these items. Click here, say OK. Here I have the items for the list. So I have the name of the month and I have the name of the product. I have used the first step, that is creating a drop down or a list. Now, for the position of the month, I repeat, for the position of the month and for the position of the product, I will need to use the match function. Alternatively, you can also consider the match function as a step towards index, because in index function, you will need row number and column number, and that can be fetched through the match function. So is equal to match, open bracket, select February, comma. Where are we searching for February? In this list. Comma 0, because we're looking for an exact match in. So February is the second month. When I come to the drop down and change it to August, August is the 8th month. Change it again to December, December is the 12th month. Go to May, May is the 5th month. So as I go on changing the names of the months, the number associated with the names starts updating itself. Let us go to DVD drives. And for DVD drives, we will now use again the match function. I repeat, for DVD drives now, we will again use the match function. Is equal to match, open bracket, lookup value, DVD drives, comma, where are we searching? We're searching here, comma, type of match 0, because I'm looking for an exact match, and DVD drives is in third column. Now for the quantity, we will use index function. We have the array, correct? I repeat, we have the array already, and we have the row number, and we have the column number using these two match formulas. So is equal to index, open bracket, is equal to index, open bracket. Array stands for data or the database. So select the data or the database, comma, row number 5, comma, column number 3, close bracket, hit enter, and this is the answer. Every time I go to the drop down and I change values, you will see that the row number and will change, and in accordance with that, the value of the quantity will also change. So every time you change from the drop down, your match value will change, and when your match value changes, your index will also change. Is it clear, everyone? So there is a lot of interdependency which is taking place over here. Did you all follow, everyone? I'll punch in the formulas for match. Yes. I'll just punch in the formulas for match. And index. This is a small assignment for you all. Once you all complete, let me know in the chat box. so that I can explain this assignment to you all before we go ahead. We'll wait for 1 more minute for all the other participants to complete, and then we will go ahead. Okay, let me explain this to you. Over here, as you can see, there are certain phone numbers given. Adjacent to it, you have a column with name, department, and phone number. What you need to do is first, within this data, you need to get the position of this particular number. And once you get the position using the match function, I repeat, once you get the position using the match function, you will use that in order to get the name associated with the number. You will use it to get the name associated with the number. Now, if you want to find out the position of this particular phone number, if you are taking labels, then for name also you have to consider labels. And if you are only taking data and no labels for the match function, then even for the name, you will use only data and no labels. So if you are using labels, use it at all times. If you are not using labels, then avoid using labels for the entire assignment. So let us begin with match function is equal to match, open bracket, select the data, comma, come to this column, control shift and down arrow key, comma, 0 for exact match, enter, and you will get the position as 11. Now, if I plan to drag this formula down, I need to make sure I lock this R2 is to R32. So that when I drag my formula down, my reference does not change. For the name, I will use index, so is equal to index, open that. Array stands for where are you looking, where is your database. Now, in Excel, when any formula has parts of the formula in square bracket, for example, like column number here is in square bracket. This shows that column number is an optional entity. That means there could be scenarios where we do not consider the column number. So for example, here, If I'm only considering the name column, will I need a column number? No. If I'm only considering department column, will I need a column number? No. So in scenarios where you are using the index function, but you are not referring to multiple columns, you're considering only a single column, then you do not need column number. That means even without column number, you can still get the answer. I repeat, that means even without column number, you can get the answer. Is equal to index, take the array that is your name column, control shift and down. Please be on mute, control shift and down to select the data, comma, row number. Row number we've already got. Do we need column number? No, because we have only considered one column. So in scenarios where you only consider one column, for your output, you may not need column number. Enter, and this is the number associated with this. If you want department, you can repeat it using department column. So is equal to index, open bracket. Select the first cell of department, control shift down, that is your array, comma, and for row number, you'll refer to this. Enter, and that is your answer. And as you go on changing the value of this particular cell, you will see the name and the department associated with it will also change. Please try this, everyone. This is little different from the earlier one. I have not used the dollar sign. If you plan to drag your formula down, you will have to use your dollar sign, else you will get an error and your reference will end up changing. Please try this, everyone. We'll wait for 2 more minutes for all the other participants to complete. Okay, let us go to the two-way lookup sheet. Let us go to the two-way lookup sheet. Let us understand the two-way lookup sheet. In column B, I have the policy number. In column C, I have the policy expiry date. In column D, I have the location, whether it is urban or it is rural. In column E, I have the name of the state, but not the name of the state. It is the acronym of the name of the state. Okay. So we will need the full form from the table. In column F, I have the region. In column G, I have the insured value. In column H, I have the type of construction. Column I, business type. And in column J and K, I have whether there has been an earthquake or a flood. Now, the first thing what we need to do is, we first need to look up this table. I'll color it in yellow. And what do we need to do? We need to look up these acronyms for these labels, and we need to use this. Okay. We need to use these and get these answers. So basically, for NY, you will get New York. For WI, you will get Wisconsin. For OH, you will get Ohio, and so on. So firstly, we are going to look at the acronyms given in this column, which is E column. Look up this table and get the full form of the state. So full state name. So we will get the full state name first using this. Is equal to, okay, VLOOKUP is what we are going to use. Here in this particular exercise, as the name suggests, two-way lookup, we are going to have a two-way VLOOKUP. So first, a VLOOKUP will look up a table. Then the answer which you get with that VLOOKUP, it will again look up another table. So it's a two-way lookup as we call it. Some people also call it a nested and two-way lookup. So we are looking up first vertically, and then we are looking up vertically and in columns, vertically as well as horizontally. Okay. So is equal to VLOOKUP, lookup value, acronym of the state, comma, table of array stands for where are we searching. So where are we searching? We are searching in this table. We will use the $sign to lock the table. Why am I using the $sign to lock the table? Same reason, because I'm not going to punch in the formula multiple times. And when I punch in the formula, I want to go to the corner and I want to drag it down. And in order to do that, I am locking the range of cells. Comma, column index number. Column index number stands for column number within the selection from where I want the answer. Column number within the selection from where I want the answer. So second column within the selection, comma 0 for exact match, because we are looking for exact values within this yellow table. And here, when I come to the corner and I double click or I drag it down, my reference will not change. So here I've used a VLOOKUP and I have used the VLOOKUP in order to calculate or get the full name of the state for the acronym provided. I need to get the full name for this acronym provided. I'm copy pasting this in chat box so that you all can have reference and try it out before we proceed. Okay, let's go to the second part of this particular assignment. And in the second part of this assignment, we will be looking up this table. Now, we will look for the name of the state in this column N. And then, if it is urban, we will get the tax from here. If it is a rural area, we will get the tax from this column. How will you know whether it's urban or rural? Using the location column. So what we will do is, in order to get the column index number, we will use match function here to suggest whether it is urban or it is rural. I repeat, whether it is urban or it is rural, we will use the match function to match with the data. So is equal to match, open bracket. Lookup value urban, comma. Where am I looking up in this row? Comma, 0 for exact match. Either I'll get 2 or I will get 3. Go to the drop down on top and say no specific format. Come to the corner and write. Why did I get an error? Because I did not lock the range of cells. Because I did not lock the range of cells. So what do I need to do? I need to lock the range of cells so that when I drag it down, my reference does not change. Is equal to match, open bracket, look up urban, comma. Where to search for urban? In this row. Lock the row so the reference doesn't move down when you drag your formulae downwards. Comma 0 for an exact match, enter. Now come to the corner and double. So please try the second part of this assignment. I have added a new column, and in this column now, we will do our two-way lookup, where we will look up the leftmost column using VLOOKUP, but based on the answer we have fetched through the match function, we will determine whether we are picking up data based on urban or on rural. So here, this is final lookup. I'm calling this column, or I can call this tax. So is equal to index, open bracket. Array stands for your data or your database. So this is my data or my database, comma. Within this, the row number, sorry, I need a VLOOKUP here. So is equal to VLOOKUP, open bracket. Lookup value will be full name of the state, comma, is equal to VLOOKUP, full name of the state. Table of array is my data or my database. I will lock it because I plan to drag my formulae down. comma, column index number is the column number within the data from where I need to fetch my answer. So here it is second column, but here it is third column. So I will refer to match here in order for it to look up the data and pick up the exact column from where I need my tags. Comma 0 for exact match, close bracket, hit enter, and I get my tags here. Come to the corner, double click, and then go to the number dialog, drop down, and choose a percentage format in order to get accurate percentage-wise values for the two-way lookup. So first you have one VLOOKUP. Using that answer and using match function, the second VLOOKUP is performed. Please try this, everyone. If anyone wants this to be repeated, let me know. We'll wait for 2 more minutes for all the other participants to complete. Okay, let us proceed. And now I'm going to go to the beverage data. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to convert the beverage data into range of cells. I'm going to convert the beverage data into range of cells. Okay. Now, before I begin with the Sumif and the Countif and the averageif function, I want to explain to you two important factors. I need to explain to you two important factors. One is range, the other one is criteria. When I talk about range, it is where am I searching? So when we talk about a range of cells, it is where am I searching? A range of cells, where am I searching? Criteria is what am I searching for? Criteria, what am I searching for? So range is where am I searching? Criteria stands for what am I searching for? So when we talk about a range of cells, we are looking within a range for a particular criteria. So for example, if I am searching in column B, I could be searching for orange juice or for apple juice or for Coke. Or I could be searching in column A either for beverages or for snacks. Or I could be searching in the column C for the year 2015 or the year 2016. So basically, range stands for which column you are searching in, and criteria stands for what are you searching for. For example, if I want to know how many Coca-Cola instances or how many products are there of Coca-Cola, or how many times does Coca-Cola appear within this database, or how many times does orange juice appear in this database, then I can use the COUNTIF function. COUNTIF, put the two functions together, you can perform a count if it fulfills a particular criteria or a condition. COUNTIF, that means it will count only if a criteria or a condition is fulfilled. Is equal to COUNTIF, open bracket, is equal to COUNTIF, open bracket. In COUNTIF, first is range. What is range? Where am I searching? So where am I searching for this product? I am searching in column B. Control Shift down, comma. Criteria stands for what am I searching for. So what am I searching for? Coca-Cola. I can refer to this cell. Now the advantage of referring to this cell is if I change Coca-Cola to orange juice or to apple juice or to anything else, every time my COUNTIF will auto update itself to fetch details of that particular product. Close bracket, hit enter, and Coca-Cola appears 24 times within this data. If I copy orange juice and paste it here, you will see that orange juice is also appearing 24 times within this data. If I write yogurt, yogurt is appearing 0 times. That means yogurt is not present in this column. Write apple juice. It is appearing again 24 times within the database. I'm copy pasting this. Remember two important things. One is range and the other one is criteria when we talk about these functions. Let me know when you all complete, and if anyone can think of any way in order to make this dynamic, let me know that as well. Think how we can make it dynamic. In order to make this dynamic, what we can do here is we can create a drop down here using data validation. So I can delete this from here, go to data. Under data tools, there is data validation. Allow list. In source of list, I can take these items. Click again here and say okay. And this is my source of the list. Come to the drop down. And as I change the item, you will see the values changing. Is it clear? Any questions? Similarly, we can do the same thing for the year. So we can have a drop down. So we can go to data, data validation, allow list. In source of the list, we will take the year. Since this is only picking up unique entries, you will get only 2 years, 2015 and 16, is equal to count if open. First is range. So for the year, where will you search? In the year column. Comma. Criteria stands for what are you searching for? Criteria stands for what are you searching for? I'm searching for the year 2015. Close bracket, hit enter, and there are 96 of 2015 occurrences. And if I check 2016, it is also 96. So the count function basically gives you the count if it fulfills a particular criteria or a condition. We'll wait for 1 more minute for all the other participants to complete. We'll wait for 1 more minute for all the participants to complete. And now I'm going to explain to you the second function, which is similar to the count, which is called the SUMIF. SUMIF function is divided into two parts. There is a sum and there is a if. So it will do a sum only if a particular criteria or a condition is fulfilled. It will do a sum only if a particular criteria or a condition is fulfilled. So the first thing which we are going to talk over here in the SUMIF function is the SUMIF function does a sum only if it fulfills a particular criteria or a condition. And here you have range where you're searching, criteria, what you are searching for, and some range. That means which is the range that you want to sum. Which is the range that you want to sum. So you could sum revenue. You could also sum the quantity. I repeat, you could sum the revenue. You could also sum the quantity. So let us come here and let us try it for nuts. Is equal to sum if open bracket. Is equal to sum if open bracket. Range stands for where am I searching? Where are you searching for nuts? In the product column. So go and select the product column for range. Once you select the range, put comma, control backspace to come up in the formula. If you happen to scroll right to the end in any function or formula, you can always use control and backspace to come up. Criteria stands for your condition. Criteria stands for your condition. So what am I looking for? Nuts. Comma, sum range stands for the range which you want to sum. So do you want to know the revenue of the nuts or do you want to know the quantity of nuts? If I want to know revenue of nuts, my sum range will be revenue column. But if I want to know the quantity of nuts, my sum range column will be the quantity column. So click on the revenue column, control shift down, close bracket, enter, and that is the answer. So this is nothing but the revenue of nuts. If you come to nuts and since there's a drop down, change it to sandwiches. This is the revenue for sandwiches. Change it to apple juice. This is revenue for apple juice. Sparkling water revenue, chips revenue, fruits revenue. So as I go to the drop down and keep changing items, the SUMIF function will auto update itself because it is using cell referencing, and the cell which it is referring to has a drop down using data validation. Please try, everyone. We'll wait for 2 more minutes for everyone else to complete. Then we will try one combination of the sum of the revenue of the year 2016. Then we will try sum of revenue of the year 2016. Let us try for the year 2016 is equal to sum if, open bracket, range stands for where am I searching? I'm searching in this particular column, comma, criteria stands for the condition. That means what am I searching for? I'm searching for the year 2016. Now for some range, if I want the revenue of the year 2016, then I will choose revenue column as my sum range. But if I want the quantity of the year 2016, then I will choose the quantity column. Click on the quantity column, control shift down, close bracket, hit enter, and this is the answer. If I go and change 2016 to 2015, you will see the revenue for the year 2015. Please try it, everyone. Please try it, everyone. Let me know when you all complete, then I can explain the average if function to you all. Let us talk about the average if function. The average if function gives you the average if a particular criteria or a condition is fulfilled. The average if function gives you the average if it fulfills a criteria. So you can get the average for a particular month, or you can get the average for a particular product, or you can get the average for a particular beverage, or you can get the average for a particular year. You can find out the average revenue, and you can also find out the average quantity. For example, if I want the average revenue for the month of Jan, what will I do? Is equal to average if open range. Range stands for what are you searching for? Where are you searching? Range stands for where are you searching? And my range of cells is my month column. Comma, criteria stands for what am I searching for? And here I'm searching for the month of Jan. I often copy paste the data as a reference that avoids spelling mistakes and typo errors. Comma, average range is my revenue column. So come to the revenue column, Control Shift down arrow key, close bracket, hit enter. And this is the average revenue. This is the average revenue. I'm going to copy paste it so that you can have reference. Have you completed this, everyone? Average if function. Let me know in the chat box. Sure, I'll repeat it. Suppose if I want the average quantity or the average revenue of the product Coca-Cola, I'll do is equal to average if open bracket. Range stands for where are you searching, comma, criteria stands for what are you searching, comma, average range is the range whose average you want. So do you want the average of the revenue or do you want the average of the quantity? Whoever's average you want, you will choose that column and close bracket, enter. Here, this is the average of revenue of Coca-Cola. Please try, everyone. So these are the sum if, the count if, and the average if functions. They are very, very handy and they become very dynamic when you start creating drop downs. So when you create drop downs or lists, they become very dynamic in nature. Okay, let us go ahead. I presume everyone has completed. And now I have taken you to the sheet on date function. Have you noticed sometimes when the date is not in the date format and the date is in general format, you see a number. Does anyone know what this number is? Many times when date is not in date format and it is in general format, you will see a number. Can anyone tell me what is this number? It is nothing but the number of months from 1st Jan 1900. It is the number of months from 1st Jan 1900. If you click on it and put it in proper date format, either short date or long date, you will see it in the form of a date. There is also a function called is equal to today function, open bracket, close bracket, which gives you the current date or the system date. Is equal to today function gives you the current date or the system date. If your system date is wrong, your today function will also appear wrong. What is the advantage of using the today function? The advantage of using the today function is that the today function will auto update itself every day. That means on Wednesday, it will show me the updated date. On Sunday, it will show me Sunday's date, that is 12th. So as the dates start updating itself, the today function also updates itself on a daily basis. So today function gives you the system date and auto updates itself every day. Let us go ahead over here, and here let us calculate the percentage bonus first. In order to calculate the percentage bonus, what will I do? I will say is equal to salary multiplied by, I will refer to the bonus set. Now, since I want all values of salary, I repeat, since I want all the values of salary to only be multiplied by 15%, I will use the $ F4 to lock the 15% cell and then come to the corner and drag it. Can you all try this, everyone, please? In order to calculate the number of years, I repeat, in order to calculate the number of years the employee has worked, I can use a formula of year minus year. So basically, the year of the current date minus the year of the joining date will give me the number of years the employee has worked. I repeat, in order to calculate the number of years the employee has worked, I will take the year of the current date and minus it from the year of the joining date in order to get the number of years the employee has worked. So is equal to year, open bracket, select the current date, close bracket, minus year, open bracket, select the joining date, close bracket, enter. And here the employee has worked for 18 years. There is a color coming because probably there are rules of conditional formatting applied, and when the number matches with the rules of conditional formatting, the color is applied. Year of the current date minus year of the joining date will give me the number of years the employee has worked for. Please try this, everyone. And then also calculate the total, which is bonus plus salary. Please calculate total, which is bonus plus salary, using sum function. for the total is equal to sum function, open bracket, select the salary, comma, select the bonus, enter, come to the corner and double. So since they are not adjacent, you can't do this. You have to use comma as a separator when the cells are non-adjacent. I repeat, you need to use comma as a separator when the cells are non-adjacent. Once you all have completed, let me know in the chat box so that we can go to the last sheet for today, which is the date function sheet, where I will be showing you more advanced options related to the date function. Okay, now I have written Y, M, and D. Y stands for year, M stands for month, and D stands for day. This is in the hierarchy in which it appears. And then in the next column, I've written YM, which is over the number of years, how many more months have passed. And MD, that means 6 months and how many days. So YM and MD give you the incomplete months and the incomplete days in a particular form. The next formula which I'm going to show you is called the dated if formula. I repeat, it is called as the dated if formula. In the dated if function, you select the starting date or the higher date, comma, select the current date, comma. Into inverted commas, if you write Y, you will get total number of years. I repeat, if you write Y, you will get total number of years. I am copy pasting it in chat. If instead of total number of years, you want total months, so that means the format you want is month format. Okay. In case of month format, I'll do is equal to dated if, open bracket, select the date, comma, select the current date, comma, into inverted commas, M will give me total number of months passed. M will give me total months passed. So 466 months have passed. If I want in day format, what do I mean by day format? How many days have passed? Days format generally people take for dispatching of goods. You know, when was the product ordered? When was it dispatched? Or when was it delivered? How many days did it take between that particular time interval? So in that case, we have day format is equal to dated if dated if open open bracket, select the higher date or the starting point, comma, current date reference. If you don't want to give current date reference, I repeat, if you don't want to give the current date reference, you can also write today function. How will you write? Today, open bracket, close bracket, comma. So by writing the today function in this formula, you are putting in the current date. Into inverted commas, D, close inverted commas, close bracket, hit enter. This is total number of days. But if I tell you, these many years have passed, how many months more than these days? How many months more than these years? So 38 years, correct? How many months above the 38 years? So is equal to dated if, open bracket, select the starting date, current date, and write into inverted commas, write YM. How many months more than 38 years? So 38 years and 10 months. But I don't think it will be 10 complete months. It will be certain number of days as well. I repeat, it will not be 38 months or 38 years and 10 months. It may be 10 days or 5 days, more than 10 months. So it will be 10 months plus how many days? So again is equal to dated if, open bracket, higher date, comma, current date, comma, MD. This will give me how many days more than 10 months. So it is 38 years, 10 months and 29 days. This is the total duration worked by this particular employee called Meera. So Meera has worked for 38 years, 10 months and 29 days. The reason I wrote this over here when I started this topic was why M and D, and then this helps me with YM, that is how many months more than so many years and how many days more than so many months. Please try, everyone. Please try Y, M and MD, everyone. Please try, everyone. In order to join, text, suppose you have your name, okay, and your surname. We can use the concatenate function. So what we can do is equal to concatenate, open bracket, select the text, comma, select the next text, close. But this will join it without spacing. If we want spacing, after the first selected item and the comma, we can do open quotes, space bar, close quotes, comma, and select the next item. Open quotes, space bar, close quotes will give you 1 character spacing. This can also be used in order to join the years, months, and the days in this format. Similarly, there is a shortcut also to this, is equal to select the text and open quotes, space bar, close quotes, and again select the text. So either you can go ahead with concatenate or you can go with the and shortcut, which can be used in order to join the text. Please try, everyone. Please try, everyone. If you all have any questions or queries, you can let me know. Perfect. So those who completed can just revise through or browse through whatever we've done in today's session. Okay, if anyone has any queries, any doubts, any questions, you can let me know. Please do try out whatever has been taught in these last 6 sessions, because tomorrow we will be connecting for the last session at 3:30 p.m. India time. So please make sure you connect on time so that we can have our final session together. What about the others? Have you all completed? Have you all managed to practice everything that has been taught to you all today? Okay, everyone. So, should we call it a day?